Yes, I'm Brother Thomas Lee Harris III, and I'm the facilitator for the Sunday Gorilla Men's Bible Study. And our topic today, part 3, is Hip Hop is Dead, Life Lesson from a Sunday Gorilla. And the life lessons come from the Sunday Gorilla workbook. And we're going to get back into it. We introduced the evidence or the body of hip hop through a biblical standard from the book of Galatians, and we talked about the principles or the defining characteristics of works of the flesh. Today I want to reinforce with the characteristics, the defining principles of the works of the Spirit of God that the Bible has given us. And it's also from Galatians chapter 5. I want to just pause, give a little brief commentary, because there seems to be still some confusion about, when we're talking about hip hop, exactly what we're talking about, and clarity is so important. If I tell you I'm a millionaire, and we're on the sidewalk, we bump into each other, and the conversation comes up, I'm a millionaire. At that point, you could either just outright not believe it, or believe it for face value. And actually, it's not what I said that makes me the millionaire. But after the fact of the investigation, based on a background check and history of an individual, a body of evidence is produced. And from that evidence is what the person really is. So I tell you I'm a millionaire. You go back and do a little personal history, meaning you bump into another friend of mine, you might maybe go online and hearsay, and you listen around. And if you're lucky enough, you get my bank statement. And then you find out that what I told you, what I said, was not the truth. So the point is, just because I say something, it has face value to it. But the evidence behind the subject matter actually defines who I am. So when talking about hip hop, a lot of Christian rappers I blogged with, I'm not talking about rap. I'm not talking about the poetic use of words. If I'm rapping about Jesus and it's giving edification to the hearer and bringing the focus back on God and His Word, then truly there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with dancing. I love praise dancing. There's nothing wrong with dancing with the wife. But there's forms of dancing that are wrong. So I'm not saying that rap is wrong. I'm saying that the culture of hip hop. So when I say I want to introduce hip hop into my church, I have to go back to one where hip hop originally was founded. It was an expression from the ghetto. It was an expression from a bad situation, bad circumstances. Those expressing themselves about how they were oppressed and wanted to get out. So the expression was a cry for help. The expression wasn't a call to come join me in the beginning. People weren't the Furious Five and Curtis Blow and all the original founders from the Bronx, and I don't want to give all credit to the Bronx, Queens. they were trying to tell people, the world, about their bad situation, and they needed some help out of it. And from that expression from the hood, the music industry itself, which in times has exploited the poor, they started to make money off of telling the story of those who were in poverty, of those who had it bad. So the original message came out as a cry. The industry bagged it up and turned the cry into a song and dance. And if you do this song and dance, you can get rewarded from it financially. So don't give me the message of hope. I need to duplicate this poverty all over the world, and we'll put it on record, and we'll reward you for it. So there, everybody wanted to copy the poverty. And it seemed like every different area and city around the country wanted to make sure that their area of poverty was worse than the next person. And you know, we had the West Coast movement, and they told about the gang violence and people, men getting killed every day in the streets over colors. Then we told stories about how the drugs were messing up our mind. But if you look at and listen, it wasn't a message or a call anymore for help. It was a song that said, do this. Recreate this mess in your neighborhood. And if you're lucky, the record labels will pay you for it. Will pay you for your poverty. But if you put the amount of people who profited from it, who live in these areas, on a scale compared to the amount of people who lost their lives and didn't profit, like triple beam it, you know, for all y'all dealers know what I'm talking about, put it on the triple beam, weigh it out, and you'll see that the people in our neighborhoods, in the hood, did not profit from this song, from this exploitation of our hood. We lost out. How many hundreds of local studios and hip-hop groups, well, millions across the nation, that were telling a story of violence and destruction and have never got paid for it? So when I identify the body of hip-hop like this, I'll see that it wasn't intended to help me. It wasn't originally a story of good. It was those telling a bad story who wanted help and a rescue out. And an industry profited off of others' poverty. And I'm going to end this segment with the great KRS-One, Scott Master Rock. They rapped early in their careers about record company people are shady. Now these are some of the founding people of hip-hop. And throughout the rap industry, you'll hear early artists up until today say record company people are shady from the beginning, because they thought that their cry for help out of the hood would be honestly rewarded. And they found out that it was the industry that made the money and the hood continue and continues today to suffer.